Welcome to You, Me, Empathy, a safe place for leading with your heart. Hey, thanks for being here. You, Me, Empathy is the official podcast of the Feely Human Collective, a collaborative mental health community designed to empower each of us to grow our capacity for empathy, vulnerability, and emotional wayfinding. Just a friendly reminder that this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. No one is just a silly boy with a feely heart. You can support the show by leaving a review in Apple Podcasts, following us on social media at Yumi Empathy and Feely Human, and joining the Feely Human Collective community at feelyhuman.co. And now your host, Nōn Wels.
Hello, Feely Humans. Welcome to another episode of your favorite mental health podcast, You, Me, Empathy. My name is Nōn Wels. I am the creator and host of this show. Thanks for being here. I love you. You're the best. Today's episode actually will just be me. No guest today, no interview, just me. I guess maybe I'm interviewing myself and maybe you a little bit too. I just wanted to do a check-in. I really haven't done a solo episode, and I also have a very exciting announcement that I'll share a little bit later, something I haven't shared yet. I just want to check in. I want to talk about how I'm doing. I want to check in because it's weird, stressful, anxiety times, and I just wanted to check in to see how you are doing. I would love to hear from you. As a reminder, you can always email me at youmeempathy@gmail.com. You can always check in there. You can also call in to the show, which is very exciting. You can leave a voicemail, check in that way, and that number is, here I am bringing it up in front of me, it's 949-346-4563, 949-346-4563. Or if you just want to check in via email, you can email me at youmeempathy@gmail.com. So the first thing on the docket is just a reminder that I am leading a session at Podcast Movement Virtual on October 20th at 2 p.m., I believe, on mental health and podcasting, how podcasting improves our mental health through empathy, vulnerability, and connection. I'm doing that with my pal Jennifer Lynn and guests Pat Flynn and Taylor Nicholson. Very excited about it. That's something I didn't, I kind of like at the last minute thought, hey, let's pitch this. And Jennifer was integral and like, hey, let's do this. This would be fun. And I pitched it and it was accepted and it feels great. And we only have 30 minutes, but it feels good to talk about mental health on a large stage like Podcast Movement is. It's a big deal. So it feels good. Excited about that. So that's on October 20th at 2 p.m. I think there are ways to get tickets now if you want to do that. I can send, or in the links to this episode, I will include a special link that will get you $50 off registration. No big deal, honestly. I think maybe my session might be recorded, so maybe I can share that later. I'm not really sure how that works, but anyways, just wanted to share it because I'm proud of myself for doing that. And anyways. The other thing I wanted to mention is my dear friend Lara Parker. Her book is out. Her new book, Vagina Problems, is out tomorrow on October 6th. I highly recommend you picking it up. Lara is a wonderful human being. She was supposed to be on the podcast again for round 2 to talk about the book and everything that's going on in her world, mental health-wise and health-wise. But she's been feeling pretty down and in a lot of pain. So we haven't been able to do that, but we probably will schedule that at some point. But definitely follow her on Instagram, Lara Parker. It might be Lara E. Parker, but if you search for Lara Parker, you'll find her and her book out tomorrow, Vagina Problems. If you are someone who experiences chronic pain or illness or anything of that sort, it's a book that you should read. And you should support Lara Parker. She's wonderful. you should do whatever you want to do. Who am I shoulding? I mean, I shouldn't should. No shoulds. But Lara Parker is great, and I recommend it. One thing I did want to talk about is this idea of rest, and I posted about this a few days ago about rest. It's something I am not very good at, and I'd imagine maybe some of you out there aren't good at it either. And I just wanted to say that I see you and I feel you. And I will also say that rest is so important. Right now, I'm feeling very tired in my body and in my brain. And, I think it's probably a lack of sleep. It's probably, my mind kind of racing and doing all the things and so many projects and all these things. It's, it might be medication too, and hormones. It might be all of the above things, but that doesn't negate or it doesn't take away from the fact that my body needs rest, my mind needs rest, and yours does too. It's important to rest. It's important to listen to our bodies. And it's such a good reminder of like thinking about a lot of things I say in this podcast. When it comes to our mental health, it's important to listen, right? Empathy is an important part of listening. Listening is an important part of empathy, I should say. Listening and curiosity and these things are important parts of our mental health to explore and to learn more about ourselves, right? And that's the same as our bodies, right? It's the same thing is true for our mental health and for our physical bodies. They're one and the same. We need to listen and honor them. And if we're feeling tired, we should rest in whatever way that looks like to you, whether it's taking a nap. That's something actually I'm not very good at, taking naps, but I feel like as I'm nearing 40, I feel like it's something that I'm going to need to get better at, is taking naps. Whether it's taking naps or just, turning off social media, not looking at it for a day or going into nature, whatever it may be. I hope you're finding some rest during this time because, it's a weird time. It's stressful time. It's anxious time. You're feeling a lot of feelings, maybe that you haven't felt before. You're sitting with things that maybe you haven't experienced before because we're all dealing with this discomfort of this new situation. We're in a pandemic, something that I've never experienced, something that you've never experienced. And it's okay to feel uncomfortable with it because it's new. It's weird. If you are struggling, my heart goes out to you. I've struggled myself. It's and with everything going on, right? Like so much racial injustice and wanting to do more there and trying to like balance that and create boundaries in that too and honoring my body again and resting when I can. And I love hugs. No more hugs. I haven't been hugging anyone. That feels shitty. I love hugs. I can't wait to hug all of you. I hope one day that Feel Human has a retreat. That is my goal. Or to do more in-person workshops. And I get to hug each and every one of you. It's the best. Hugs are so the best. They're the best. Hugs are so the best. Great speaking, Nōn. Hugs are the best. And it's just weird times. So rest. If you're feeling tired, rest. Listen to your body. You deserve it. You deserve to honor your body. You deserve to rest. You deserve to feel rejuvenated and recharged. That is important for your brain, for your body, for your mental health, for your ability to, do this kind of work, to do empathy and to practice empathy. You need to rest. So take a moment and rest. Turn this off if you need to. If my voice isn't very restful or conducive to resting, that's okay. Rest. The other piece of that is I've been thinking about change and growth, and I've done a lot of changing and growth over the past 10 years, and I bring that up because I think there's a lot in the world that I think wants us to not change and to not grow. There are boxes that the world wants to put us in. There are societal constructs that the world wants to rein us in with. There are gender norms, right? There are stigmas. There are biases. There are prejudices. There are all of these limiting mindsets, right, that take away from who we are and take away from specifically one of the more important human things that we can do is change and grow and be open to change. You know, I was raised in an environment where I felt like I was censoring or had to hide or just not explore a part of myself that is crucial, which is the feeling, the sensitivity, the heart leading part of myself. And, you know, that part of me is so crucial to this podcast and to the work that I do with Feely Human and the future and my future. It's been amazing. And I will continue to kind of explore that and grow with that. And I've changed a lot, and that's a good thing. Change is important, right? And I think, you know, people in our lives, sometimes they have a hard time with that. Ourselves, we have a hard time with change, right? But it's necessary for growth, you know? The things that we believe growing up or whatever it may be, the people we are, we change, we grow. That's a good thing. That's important. We always should be checking in with ourselves, checking in with our biases, checking in with the things that we bring to situations and asking ourselves, is this honoring us? Is this in alignment with who we are? Does this feel right? You know, that's ever changing. You know, there's no box we check at the end. It's not a race, right? You know, we're not going to a destination. It's ever changing. We're on a non-linear, non-binary, wayward, wonderful, wondrous, awe-inspiring, as I say, journey. You know, that's ever changing, and accepting that, being willing to allow for that flexibility and growth is so important, I believe, and I hope you believe it too. So. The other thing I wanted to do is just to remind you that you can support me and this podcast and the Feely Human Collective by leaving a review in Apple Podcasts. That takes a couple minutes. It's free to do, and it really does help out the show. The more reviews that You Me Empathy has, the more people see it, you know. It rises in the charts and more people see it. So if you're listening to this now and you have not left a rating and review for You Me Empathy in Apple Podcasts, pause, take a couple minutes and leave a review. I would be so honored if you could do that. It really does help out the show. I appreciate it. And if you want to support me and the work I do, financially or in other ways, you can go to feelyhuman.co, feelyhuman.co. And actually, I'm looking for more writers. So if you go to the journal, if you go to the main navigation, go to the journal, I'd love to see your writing. I'd love to feature your writing in the Feely Human Journal. So check that out. You can also go to feelyhuman.co/support for other ways to support the show and me and Feely Human. Couple of ways are contributing to the writing, to the journal, rather, I said before. Also taking my free workshop, Feely Human 101. Joining the newsletter. You can access that on the homepage, feelyhuman.co at the bottom. Joining the newsletter that I send out every month. What else? What else is on that list? I'm just thinking from the top of my head. La 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 la. Oh, I'm always looking for art collaborators too. In the shop right now are 2 art collaborations that I did. One with Bella Roskigno, who illustrated this beautiful picture of this flower girl with flowers on her face. It's amazing, and it's a sticker now for $3 in the shop. Another one is with artist Chloe Owen. It's an Empathy for Kids zine. It's adorable, and if you have kids, you should definitely buy one because it's amazing. It's only $8. So that's a way to support me and this show and Feel Human, is to buy stuff from the shop. I've got amazing pins and shirts and more stuff coming. So check that out, feelyhuman.co/shop. What else? What else is on my mind? I guess I will just say that, let's get to the big announcement that I have, which is I was contacted by NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, the Orange County chapter, NAMI, NAMI, and I was contacted to develop a new podcast and co-host it with someone, and I said yes. It's going to be a short-run podcast. I'm hoping to continue to release episodes every Monday of this podcast, You Me Empathy, while also doing this show. But if there is a Monday where I don't really release an episode, it's just because I'm very busy and I'm trying to rest, aforementioned rest. But it's going to be called It's Okay to Feel, and it launches on October 12th. My co-host Jennifer Lynn of the Rainy Day Diaries is going to be a part of it with me. We developed the concept and worked on the content for the next 3 months. So it's called It's Okay to Feel. It's going to be out October 12th, a week from today, in fact, which is very exciting. And you'll be able to listen to it wherever. It'll be a short-run podcast through the end of the year, like I said. Each episode will be specific to a specific topic, but some of the guests will be guests you've heard on this show, Danae Selkin being one of them, Dr. Christina Iglesia being another, and some other guests as well that we're very excited about. I'm just very excited. It's a good opportunity for me and to get the word out about Feel Human and this podcast more, and to serve another audience. And the audience will be targeted to a youngerish audience. 16 to 24 is what we're going for, but it'll be the same type of stuff that you hear here, but more specific to a topic, and it'll be co-hosted. So it'll be Jennifer and I, and an interview with an expert guest. And again, it's called It's Okay to Feel. October 12th is launch day. I'm very excited. I hope you're excited too. You'll get You Me Empathy and It's Okay to Feel, at least through the rest of the year, through the rest of 2020, which 2020 has been a rough one, right? It's been tough in a lot of ways, as we've talked about a little bit here. But again, keep your radars out. Radars. I don't know if that's the word I was looking for. I'm tired. Keep your eyes open, your ears open for It's Okay to Feel on October 12th, and I'll likely make an announcement on Instagram that day as well. Very excited about that. I guess the last thing I'll say is, we are nearing, a new election. And this show is about empathy. This show is about being true to who we are. And I just want to say that it's my perspective that the empathetic vote is to vote with Biden and Harris. Our current president is not someone who has empathy. He lacks empathy completely, and honestly, he's just a vile buffoon. If I'm just going to be specific about it, don't like him. I can say lots of awful things about him, but He does have COVID-19, which I don't want anyone to have, even our president, which I do hope he heals and gets through that. But I do hope he does not win this election. That is my hope. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do if he wins. I don't know if I can do for another 4 years of him. He who must not be named. So an empathetic vote is to vote Biden-Harris. That's my perspective. If you're listening to this and you were going to vote for Voldemort, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your perspective. Truly, I truly would. I'm not here to pick fights or to name, call names. That's not who I am. I'm here to listen, have a conversation. Maybe we can each of us find a little perspective. That's what empathy is about. So I'd love to hear from you if you were and are planning on voting for, that guy. And if you're voting for Biden-Harris, I love you. I love you all. I'm actually very excited. I'm getting, hopefully they come soon. I ordered 2 new yard signs designed by a couple of artists, one being Lisa Congdon and one being, I'm forgetting her name, but she's a wonderful BIPOC artist. If you go to the Last Draw 2020, you can check them out, the stuff that they have. It's great. Okay. I think that's it. I don't know if maybe I won't even release this. I don't know. I feel weird about it now, doing this solo, but, thank you. Thank you for being here. Please support the show if you can. Really appreciate it. And rest. And remember that it's okay to change and grow. Remember that it's okay to not be okay sometimes. And remember that your human superpowers are truly wonderful and people in the world need them. So be proud of them. Okay. I think that about does it. Yeah. I'm just going to call it there and not do the outro. I'm just going to say goodbye, farewell, and I love you.